Here's our breadboard, which is full of lovely LEDs, and we're just going to go through each one and see what they all do. Start with a common cathode 5mm RGB. It's clear, so it's going to be quite bright, and it has its common cathode, which means it's got one lead going out to ground, and then your three leads, red, green, and blue, are powered through VCC. So that's the three there. Then we're going to look at the same package basically, also RGB, 5mm common cathode, but this time it's frosted. So yeah, the light's a little bit softer. I actually quite like this one. So I normally cover up the other one anyway, but this is a bit more muted. These are all running from a 4-volt rail, and once again being common cathode out to ground. This is common anode, so one lead is connected up to VCC, and now we've got ground coming in to red and green and then blue. Also in the clear format, so quite bright, this one. Now, apart from RGBs being in that 5mm format, they also come in SMD. So this is a 5050 SMD package, and I've just soldered it onto a SMD to dip board with a 330 ohm current limiting resistor. So let's have a look and see how that one goes. So this is VCC coming into green. And red and blue, and yeah, that's pretty nice. Now these are 5mm LEDs again. This time there's a linear feedback shift register inside, which actually varies the color. So this is called the fast flash version. Just cycling through. And then there's a slow flash version as well, which just cycles, but obviously a lot slower. It's quite effective, really. You put 2 or 3 of these together, and yeah, it's quite a nice effect all up. Now, as well as coming in the 5mm package, these RGBs, the slow flash and the fast flash, also come in a 0805 version. So what I've done here is soldered up 4 of them to a little SMD to dip breadboard, and you'll see at the back there I've also soldered on some current limiting resistors in 0603 format. So this is the fast flash, same as the 5mm version, and this is the slow flash, same as the 5mm version as well. Just handy sometimes to have them in that smaller format, which I'll show in a later project actually. Now if I connected all these up, then you get quite an interesting effect, and this is nice to combine them together. And then if you cover them with something which diffuses the light, then you get quite an interesting effect over time. I have used these in the past for things like Christmas decorations. It can be a bit manic with the fast flash, but yeah, it's quite nice combining 2 or 3 of the slow flash ones and just watching it over time. They do get out of phase eventually, and it's quite pleasant. Now these are interesting. These also have a linear feedback shift register inside of them, but there's a single color this time. So for instance, this one is red, and it just flickers. So this is the sort of LED that you'll find in a very cheap candle effect. So that's a red one, and there's a yellow one. So they come in all sorts of colours. They also don't use an awful lot of current actually, so they're quite good for battery projects. This is a nice blue one, but I have had them running from a couple of AA cells for a month or so. Here's a couple of them. This is a yellow one and an orange one. Just got in my LED tester there, and just to show you how they do work to sort of make a candle-like effect. That's pretty simple and pretty energy efficient. And the last LED on the board there is what's called a bicolor reversible LED. So I'm just plugging it in here, and you can see that it's green. And then if we just reverse those leads, and it is red. So that's pretty handy actually in some combinations as well, and particularly green and red for things like Christmas decorations. And I have actually combined it with one of the flickering ones as well to provide flickering and going backwards and forwards. So yeah, very interesting. So that's all of them together, and yeah, very interesting. A lot of good projects have come out of those, which you've seen on this blog, and hopefully more to come.